And
worst
I remember.
podcast history.
Yeah, let's go ahead. This might need to be its own segment in itself because
Yeah.
the way $1 Million Worth of Game does their ad reads, I will give them. I will say the new Amsterdam ad read that they do is good.
That's brilliant marketing.
Yeah, I like that one because Gilly has his own little vibe with it.
He's got sounds associated with it.
Yeah, do Amsterdam vodka. Take it. You know, that's all good. Yeah. But when you are you're knee deep in a podcast, and they will give you a 10-minute bit from a completely different podcast, I'd be like, what is happening right now?
Or how do you feel about the business spotlight that they do in the middle of the podcast episode?
No, that's what I'm talking about.
My original thought was
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
My original thought was that's cool. They're trying to game, trying to give out games to the kids.
I thought it was cool, and then
it's just an ad block, and it's probably
it's the
if you was
largest
gonna get
one.
that promotion, that's probably the most that you got
For sure.
the most expensive one.
And I think that
It's
one
10
has
minutes
nothing.
long.
And I think that one has nothing to do with Barstool. Like just off the way, anybody's idea of putting a 5-minute podcast in the middle of a 1-hour podcast is like.
Wait, let's stop that. Let's stop that right there. That shit is not 5 minutes. That should be like 17, 20 minutes, bro. It's long as fuck, bro. I be like, bro, what up?
Yeah, bro.
These niggas do a 2-hour sermon in the middle of the podcast.
Tight, bro.
Trying to teach niggas how to buy storage units.
You telling me halfway in the middle of their show,
yes,
they will put a whole nother show?
Yes,
dog.
Yeah.
So
Or
imagine,
are they just talking about like, hey,
No.
yo, shout
It's an interview in the middle of the podcast. They get a nigga who's doing like real estate or something, and he's promoting a course so you can learn how to do real estate with the nigga too.
Yeah,
and
essentially.
It's a 15-minute conversation.
yeah.
Like Wallow will be in the middle of telling a prison rape story.
Right.
The soap didn't even hit the ground yet. Then it cuts and it's like now we talking about
You
storage.
know what's crazy? I've seen that ad, but
bad.
on IG. So I guess they just throw
Okay.
that. Like,
They
if you
literally
don't know how to make shirts after this,
Bro, they literally
you
put
know.
that 10, 15-minute bit.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching, and I forgot they did it because I don't watch all $1 Million Worth of Game episodes. The last one I watched was the DJ Envy, the Breakfast Club one.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching it, it's this Asian couple talking about some sort of business that they're doing.
Probably
and
on the laundry man.
yeah, and I'm like, and I'm hitting skip on the thing.
Forever,
I'm like,
nigga. Forever.
I'm like, goddamn, boy, I'm still hitting skip on
Bro,
this
I ain't
joint.
never
You know
had
what
to
I'm
hit
saying?
the 15-second shit so much
Bro,
or the 30
it's
seconds.
crazy.
It's crazy,
And
bro.
it's
you hit
like-
it 15 times, like nigga, skip.
And it's so aggressive. They might even be at a different set. It's literally like if just in the middle of a sentence, we just skip to the LOI show and give you 10 minutes of y'all show.
No cross the fade.
No cross the fade.
Yeah.
No, give us a second. We're gonna give you a little bit. There's no introduction. It's just a hard chop.
There's no lube.
There's no
Just
nothing.
throw it
All
right
of a
in
sudden,
there.
we're in the middle of the LOI show, and we're like,
no foreplay, none of
we're
that
in
shit.
mid conversation. That's another thing. When they'll jump to those joints, it'd be like low key mid conversation. They'll do this like 3 to 5 second intro of the person. Yeah, so tell us about what you do real quick. It's like, damn, bro, like you throwing this on me. Like it's
I don't
crazy.
care what this nigga does.
Yeah, bro, and it has nothing to do with the reason we're there. Kodak Black is there talking about him getting out of jail and
grabbing his mom's
success.
ass.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it's how to start a home medical nursing program. It's like, what?
And I get what they trying to do. It's like, shout out to you for trying to highlight people, but come on, just have a second. Like,
And I do, and that is the thing. I do like that when I do sit around and listen to them, I'd be like, oh, damn, these are some ways to get some bread. Like,
right.
And there are some advertisements that I do enjoy that $1 Million Worth of Game has that I don't see in other podcast space. Like, they have advertisements for getting into the Dodge Academy. So, like, if you want to go to do a trade school, like, instead of going to trade school for auto mechanics, sign up for Dodge. Has a program where they'll put you through Dodge school. I'm like, now these are some good advertisements. You know what I'm saying? Because those are ways, it's just, those are local ways where real middle class people can get into a career making $80,000 to $100,000 a year. You know what I mean? So I do like that they have advertisements like that, and I think those are like Barstool influence. But you don't see advertisements like that on any other podcast. But I think those are good because those help the middle class person actually change the position of their life that they're in without telling them they have to be an investor or be a, that's everybody
or
wants
get
you to be
this $1,000 course that you're gonna complete in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Instead of just telling them this is a career path you can do.
Rational.
Rational, yeah.
Right.
You can work for the railroad. Like I do enjoy
mean?
that. You know what I'm saying?
We can't blame niggas trying to get $1 million off of giving you $1 million worth of game.
Yeah.
But
like they told you it was worth $1 million, and now they're trying to get their $1 million.
it's a fine line.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like selling out and having your integrity. It's like one step
Removed.
Like,
Yeah.
on either one.
It's one degree of separation.
And integrity is subjective to the person.
It damn sure is.
Exactly.
Like there's a woman out here who is morally intact, sucking 15 penises a day.
That's probably not enough for her.
Facts.
Like she's perfectly within her realm.
That's a strong
I'm
number,
not
bro.
fulfilled until I hit 20.
Yeah, I could have hit 30. You could have. That's a whole other
Bitch
conversation.
has aspirations.
Competing with a best
Yeah.
friend and shit. Like, bitch, I got 30 today.
Like Vaughn and his homie, nigga. Do
Yeah,
you think
for
you thing
real.
today?
Yeah,
I did my thingy thing today.
yeah.
It's like 19 dicks.
That was crazy. Do the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Vaughn was
Yeah, they
hilarious.
said
for
Vaughn
that.
used to
All
wake up at
comes
7 in the morning. Like, I gotta get somebody today. Like, nigga, what? You up at the crack of dawn to do a drill?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was different, bro. But just not talking about that. But yeah. So, but I think $1 million worth of game does have to. They've got to. If we're talking quality of podcast,
Yeah.
that severely brings their quality of podcast down. I think
Yeah.
the way they choose to do advertisements, even outside of the Barstool ads, just those inserts, because I know that's them. There's no way a marketing department would ever approve a 10-minute podcast in the middle of another podcast. There's no way.
Like, by the way, I feel like I've seen it, but it's been a minute.
I can
It
see
sounds
the way-
very ghetto.
The way you
Yeah,
speak,
yes.
I know you've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
seen
yeah.
it.
Ghetto.
The way you speak, I know you've never seen it. 'Cause
Yeah.
bro,
yeah.
I
You would know,
yeah.
bro.
It screams
Yeah.
ghetto.
Yeah.
It
It
really
works in
does.
television commercials. Imagine you was watching Snowfall and then you got to see Flo fucking advertise Progressive for 15 minutes.
But even
Yeah.
then, it's like the show lets you know that it's about to be commercial.
They at
Like,
least lick it before they stick it.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. They don't on
Yeah.
this at all.
And it cuts off at the perfect moment. It's a little cliffhanger-ish.
But
which is good though.
And it takes you
for
out.
TV, yeah.
It takes you
yeah.
out of the
Oh, you're talking about
experience so much
Facts.
that there's been several times when I've actually listened to the whole thing, I forgot where we left off in the conversation.
True.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you know it's bad. Like, scientifically, or not scientifically, but marketing and research wise, I used to work for a TV company where I would program commercials. And so in prime time, the most commercial spaces you want to give in prime time is 2 minutes max. That's how much time you give. And we're talking prime time as in the 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock on ABC. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing more than 2 minutes. Maybe the last ad break is 2.5, but that's where the most expensive pack commercials are. Commercials don't last longer than 30 minutes. 30 seconds, 1 minute at absolute max. But if you see a 1 minute commercial in there, they have paid that bag, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But commercials are broken up between 15, 30, and 1 minute. There's so the fact that even in TV and advertisement, they know don't do more than 2.5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Even when we start doing commercials on here, they're not going past 2 minutes, period. You know what I mean?
There's a law of diminishing returns. After a while, you lose me.
There's a person, there's a reason for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like they just completely ignored that. And that does bring it down. But and I guess the way Joe chooses to do his business is Joe would rather have like a company sponsor the entire episode.
Yeah.
And then just put the
Exactly.
put the lower third up there, the Cashapp thing. You know what I'm saying? Then I don't have to read nothing. I'm not taking away from the quality. And I do respect that a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But there's a perfect balance to everything. I don't think no ads is I don't think by having no ads make you just a less of a podcaster. I think that's goofy. But I do think there's too much.
There's levels to it.
Yeah, there's levels to it for sure. What was his other response that Gilly had? I think it might have.
Yeah, there's another one in here.
I think it kind of has the goes. Okay, after the washed up. Let me hit this because Gilly's responding. But yeah, after the washed up rap career, in and out of rehabs, all the beating up itches. Now you want a podcast beef. If you beef when you get started, what? I'll beef with you when you start getting some money. Oh,
Some ad
money. Oh, we just covered all this. Yeah. I think we're done. Yeah, we covered all this. I should have put it in the last. We should have read it during the last segment, but whatever. You know.
Do you think that Gilly should watch his mouth when he speaks about Joe Budden? That's some shit that you can say when
Now,
you're
that is a good
number
question
one
right
on
there.
the list.
Like, nigga, you're part of the mob.
You
baby.
have all the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't think he cares about burning bridges though. Gilly.
Who?
Gilly. You think you're saying Joe?
You think that's
you-
what the sentiment is?
Yeah.
He should be burning bridges. I think it's
Bro,
more of
when
a
you-
kiss the ring aspect.
Yeah.
So where it's like, nigga, who the
you,
fuck
so
are
you, you think Joe wants him to kiss the ring?
Yeah.
For sure. Joe definitely wants that. Gilly would never do that though. I mean,
Plus, Joe makes it hard for you to like respect him on that level.
exactly.
So I'm
Yeah.
not about
Especially
to
if,
give him
especially
that
once he
type
crosses
of-
the line.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
never just like get to the point. Like Joe knows how to get to a point where it's just like, okay,
Yeah, like
we can't do this with each other. I can't even fuck with you no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
arguing with Joe is exhausting. You
yeah,
gotta have some real stamina.
you do. And and I know I don't got the time for it.
Nobody has the time for that.
Yeah.
Only people who have the time for that is like the Dominican bitches he be fucking importing.
Yeah, right.
Allegedly.
They
He
can
got,
go all night.
he got a sister right now. I think though.
He got a what?
I think he got a sister right now.
I don't know what she is, but her proportions are outrageous.
They are.
Oh, he be posting?
Her proportions
He
are
does.
comically outrageous. She
But
looks
when is-
animated. She looks
Bruh.
like Miss Incredible.
But he's the most consistent in terms of this is what he does.
Yeah.
Like, he's never not, even when it wasn't in style, Joe was running around with women like that. Like that's
Facts.
always,
Balloon, they
Facts.
built like balloon animals.
yeah, like we've never seen him not with the thickest thing in the world. Like he was on BBLs and enhancements.
Thickest thing in the world.
Yeah, he was on BBLs
Yeah.
and enhancements from the very beginning.
I wonder what that is.
I thought he was Dominican.
Who, Joe?
When I first heard of Joe Budden.
He might as well be.
He looked Dominican, like he looked a little Spanish.
Yeah, he does. He looked
He
Dominican.
look like he plays some baseball.
Then his beard
Let me
is
open
like
up the notes
his
because
beard texture is very straight.
But if he his mustache is saving him. That's what's keeping him black.
Yeah,
You see, I think
If he got that beard and took off the top of that mustache, his name could be Ezekiel.
that would be crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He hits home runs, nigga. Nah.
He could be Omar for all
He could
we
play
know.
for the Dodgers.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's.
Omar is a multiracial name.
Omar.
That could be a black and a Mexican.
I met black Omars. I met white Omars. I met Muslim Omars.
Omar.
I
Omar.
met a lot of Omars.